Update: my fiancé's little sister allegedly wrongfully accused him of sexual abuse, but something isn't right. Original post. Some quick background: we've been together 2.5 years, and have been friends 15 years. We used to be neighbors, and I was best friends with his older sister, so I know his family pretty well. They have 4 adopted siblings who came into their life shortly after we met. I am 27 and my fiancé is 25. His baby sister is one of the adopted kids. Everyone's always said they were close. I noticed it was a little weird when I moved in with his family for a bit, but I never paid it any mind. We got pregnant in March of last year, and she was pretty unhappy about it. About 2 months later, she was 16 at the time, she announces her pregnancy. Her boyfriend lived with us all at the time, so it didn't really come as a surprise. We got close while we were both pregnant, bonded over everything despite our 10-year age gap. Both of our babies ended up in the neonatal intensive care unit, and it was after we were both home that things started shifting noticeably. Her attitude changed toward everyone. She started drinking, dressing differently. It's been about 6 months since her kid was born, and she is a completely different person. She asked to come and live with me and my fiancé a few months ago, and we told her that she could when she turned 18. She stopped coming over. We visited his family multiple times in the last few months. I noticed their behavior toward me had changed, and I literally asked them if I had done something to upset them, and they all told me no. I asked my fiancé if he still loved me because he couldn't look me in my face. And when he did, something just looked off. 2 weeks ago, the sister packed up and left to go live with her other 2 blood siblings, leaving the youngest. She apparently went to her sister, who works for Child Protective Services, and said that their adoptive mother was abusing her. They came up with paperwork and everything, and they said they signed it because they were too scared to fight it and lose the youngest kid. Now, 5 days ago, my fiancé comes to me and asks me not to get mad. Please, please, please don't go fighting anybody and please don't yell at me. I'm like, okay, why are you being weird? He tells me his sister and younger cousin have come out with accusations against him. His sister said that he did something, but allegedly refuses to specify, and his cousin said he sent her a D-pic on Snapchat. These allegations against him happened about 2 months ago. And I just found out. I was at their house, hanging out with them and my kids, planning our wedding. I hung out with that sister and her baby. Nobody told me anything. Apparently they were all scared I would leave him and whoop on his sister. I'm talking to his mom yesterday, and she mentions how they had him stop by on his way home from work a month ago to apologize to his cousin and sister for what he had done. My uncle and dad made me, is what he said. His mom also mentions that the whole time he's apologizing, the sister had both arms wrapped around his waist and her face in his chest. She goes, "It's okay," with a straight face and walks back inside. I don't know why, but this infuriates me more than the rest of what's going on. I don't understand why she would be around us so much if he had done something, and why she'd wait 10 years to speak up. Or on the other hand, I don't understand why he'd keep it from me as his fiancé, and also why he let her grab on him like that after accusing him of something so foul. He and his family all say it's a lie. His cousin literally got caught effing her brother, and they had to be legally separated, so I don't know how valid her word even is. Also, he doesn't have Snap or her number. And his sister just lied on his mom too, so I don't know. I just don't know what to think. Please help, and don't be too harsh. This is really hard on me as it is. Sorry, it's a big and kind of confusing read, so I can't do a short version. Reading the top comments before the update. I was sexually assaulted by my older brother. My parents didn't want to face the situation even after he admitted it. They did everything to keep me quiet, and well, it worked. If there's any indication or intuition you're noticing, I'm afraid that there is probably a good reason for it. Long story short, when both my parents had passed, I actually tried to hug him. Disgusting, I know, but I was feeling extremely alone in the world. I've always had hope that somehow we could be normal. Her hugging him could be her feeling guilt for having told on him. Also, my brother tried to make it out to me that during the abuse he did it because he loved me, so this topic can be very confusing for the victim. He was very violent outside of the child sexual abuse. I'm sorry that happened to you. Maybe it did happen then. I just don't want to see it that way. I'm thinking about taking more time to look into it and figure out what the truth is, but I don't want to further traumatize the girl if it's true. Here's my advice: investigate. See if he's had Snapchat before and deleted it. In an iPhone, the symbol to re-download an app is different than the get button for a new app. I understand there's some way to figure this out on an Android too. If he has, download it again. You can see on Snapchat who a person has messaged. Is his cousin there? You need to understand specifically what the allegations are. Is she saying he did this when they were children, or recently? Because a child pressing boundaries with a young sibling, while completely wrong and concerning, is a bit different than if he did this as an adult. I might review their texts and even ask him to text or call her in front of you and get information. It's telling if she says, "I'm sorry, I was just mad and wanted to hurt you," or "I just couldn't keep it a secret anymore." This has a lot of red flags: her enmeshment with him, her drastic change in looks and behavior, the cousin's added accusation, the apology, the secrecy. Tell him straight up you need clarity to stay with him. Love this approach. I will definitely check when he gets home. I spent all night thinking of how I was going to talk with him and basically give him the ultimatum of clarity, or I leave. I believe they were 14 and 8 at the time. Either way, I don't appreciate the secrecy and overall feeling of the whole situation. Update. My fiancé and I spoke on his break at work. After reading through the comments, I had a lot more questions and points to bring up to him, all of which he answered. He completely denied ever doing anything to either girl and says he only apologized to keep peace between households. I told him he was a coward and that if he wasn't guilty, he shouldn't have apologized. He agreed. I then reached out to the family myself. I asked his mom for specifics, as well as the mom of the cousin who accused him. No solid answers. Still blank stares from the sister and Snapchat from the cousin. But I already checked his phone and Snapchat data. He hasn't had the app in months, and he does not have her number at all. His mom then said to the sister that we could go to the police and have a report written up so she could have some kind of justice, and she went white as a ghost and denied it. I looked at her and asked her, "Can you at least tell us what happened so I can know if I need to keep my kids away from him?" And she started crying. Like ugly crying. She admitted to feeling like I was taking her protector away. Everyone gets to have their happy family except for me. She admitted to planning her pregnancy after we announced ours and proceeded to show us the texts between her and the cousin plotting this crap over the last few months. They planned out what they were going to say. They had even planned out a D-pic they had found on the internet, but once the mom had said, "Okay, show me, I know my son has a birthmark," that story stopped. Their mom sat there, shocked. And I walked out of the house. I called my fiancé and told him that he's never to see or speak to her again. Hopefully that's the right thing to do. He also cried and apologized over and over for letting this happen. I just want it to be over. Our wedding is in 9 days, and I feel like this just effed up the whole experience in advance. Can I press charges on either girl for false claims? I'll update again soon if there are any changes. Thanks for any advice you guys gave. Reading the top comments before the update. Highly destructive, very pathological sister, frankly, it's evil. Document everything. I would never speak to her again because that is just unwise. I would look at legal options, talk to a lawyer. Yes, false allegations happen. They aren't as common as real allegations, but they truly happen. Just look at what is normalized in this household. She's a foster child. I don't think it's fair to call her evil. She may never have been given a chance to learn healthy coping mechanisms. I think it's very privileged to call someone in her circumstances evil. Natural disasters aren't evil, yet they are the direct cause of a lot of harm. It's evil. Also, what a wildly insulting insinuation to make about foster care survivors, that they don't have autonomy over their choices, don't know right from wrong, or evil behavior from good. That's a very embarrassing comment to make. We are all in control of our choices, regardless of our past. Shame on you. She made a choice. It was an evil, callous, selfish, and destructive choice. She will face the consequences of that. Lying and destroying others for personal gain will always catch up to a person. However, I pray that she learns from this and makes better choices going forward. I also pray that you never cross paths with a person who believes that their selfish impulses are more important than the rights and well-being of others. He should get restraining orders against them. His family should make sure that anyone told those allegations now knows the truth. This is foul. You might want couples therapy before getting married. His lack of communication is a big problem as well. He's looking into a restraining order for at least the sister. And I'm honestly thinking about just postponing the wedding, but I don't know where to even start with that. That's too much drama. He should definitely protect himself legally. You sure you still want to go through with a wedding like this? I'm truly doing my best to keep my faith in this relationship. That is exactly what his sister wants, to have you cancel the wedding. Get married and keep them far away from you and your family. Second update. Fiancé and his mom have apologized to me and promised to never keep anything from me again. I told him that he didn't give me the chance to stand up for him, that's my job as his partner, and he broke down and said he was just scared to lose us. So we're going to have to work on the trust, but it's better than what it could have been, I guess. Also, I am blown away by people acting as though people aren't capable of falsely accusing one another. Absolutely wild. And very sad to see how justice is dished out. Next story. Update: my boyfriend secretly invited his parents to move into our house without telling me. Original post. So I've been with boyfriend for 4 years, living together for almost 2. We bought a house together last year. We had a lot of talks beforehand about boundaries, financial planning, and how important it was for both of us to feel like this was our space. Last week, boyfriend casually mentioned that his parents might stay with us for a while. I assumed he meant a week or 2, maybe up to a month. Fine. They live out of state, and I know they've been struggling financially, so I didn't think too much of it. Well, I found out yesterday, from mother-in-law, not even from boyfriend, that the plan isn't just a visit. Boyfriend apparently told them they could move in with us indefinitely. As in, they've already sold their place and are arriving next weekend with a moving truck. I was stunned. I confronted boyfriend immediately, and he acted like it wasn't a big deal. He said, "They're my parents, of course they have a place here." When I told him that a permanent arrangement was never discussed and that I didn't consent to it, he got defensive. He said I was being cold and ungrateful and accused me of hating his family. For context, I don't hate his parents. Mother-in-law and father-in-law are fine in small doses, but they're very traditional and openly critical of me for not being wife material. We're not married, and I have no plans to quit my career. Mother-in-law has made comments about how she'd love to help raise the kids. We don't want children right now. Father-in-law is the kind of guy who thinks women belong in the kitchen. So the idea of them living with us full-time is challenging. I feel completely betrayed. Boyfriend made a massive, life-altering decision without my input, one that directly impacts our home. He keeps brushing it off like I'm overreacting. I don't even know how to come back from this. How should we deal with this? Reading the top comments before the update. Call the lawyers. Force the sale of the house. Break up and move out. I'm sorry your boyfriend is a worm. I contacted a lawyer already. I'm looking into my options for a buyout or, if needed, a forced sale. This is posted in relationship advice, so my advice is you don't have a relationship. This is a crazy, life-altering decision, and your boyfriend can't respect you enough to include you in it. Even more insulting, you're now being brushed off as too dramatic. If this were me, I wouldn't be wasting time on Reddit. I'd be speaking to my lawyer. Boyfriend needs to buy you out, or maybe mommy and daddy can. This is not a situation where you're going to win. This will be the rest of your life. He'll make decisions without consulting you, and it'll only get worse. Protect your investment in the house and use it to break free into your own place. Wish you all the best. Just want to add, I'm usually a talk it out and see if things can be worked on type of person. This guy doesn't seem like he'll have a conversation. He sees nothing wrong with what he's done. And there's no arguing with stupid. You're right. I've tried talking calmly, but he just doubles down and refuses to see my side. I've already started speaking with a lawyer about different options. It's a real shame you aren't married. It would make the legalities for selling the house cleaner. There is nothing to fix here. OP, this is not a betrayal that you can fix. You don't need to fix him or try to get over this. You should not. Get a lawyer. The parents aren't in your house yet? Great. Get a lawyer before they move in. Your relationship should be over. This man does not respect and care about you. I'm sorry to be blunt, but there is no way to deal with this. There is only you, and whether or not you're going to lay down like a doormat and pay for their house. This is the answer. Lawyer, house sale, breakup. He used her money to buy his parents a house. The last line is so important. I hope OP reads it. Also, how does a traditional man like the boyfriend's father justify not being able to put a roof over his wife's head anymore? Things happen, and it's understandable that so many are facing hard times financially, but it's not understandable to talk about the roles of women when, as the man, you supposedly should be able to provide for your household. Someone who believes in traditional gender roles would believe that? Edit. Thanks everyone for the support and advice. It really helped me feel less crazy about this. I've already been in contact with my lawyer, and while it'll take some time, it looks like this should end well for me in the long run. Since a lot of people asked for an update, I'll post one once everything is officially sorted out. Update. First, thank you to everyone who commented and offered support. Reading your messages really helped me feel seen and validated during all of this. Sorry it took me so long to post an update. Everything got tied up with lawyers and paperwork, and I wanted it settled before sharing. My ex ended up buying me out of the house. Best decision I've ever made. I walked away, had a fresh start, and no dead weight attached to me. I got my own place, got lucky with a very small apartment, left all furniture behind as most was his anyway, focused on work, and honestly my life has been calm, stable, and better than it's ever been. Meanwhile, he got exactly what he thought he wanted, the house with his parents in it. And it's been an absolute train wreck. They moved in permanently, and within days it was obvious they see him less as a son and more as their live-in caretaker. They expect him to cover all the bills, cook, clean, and drop everything for them. They nitpick every little thing, criticize how he runs the house, and remind him daily that he owes them for everything they ever did for him. He's working longer hours just to keep up financially, and the house that was supposed to be his pride and joy has basically become their space, not his. He has no privacy, no downtime, and no control. From what mutual friends have told me, he's burned out, bitter, and constantly snapping at everyone around him. When I confronted him about why he didn't even tell me about their move-in, he said, "If I told you, you would have said no and I couldn't let them down." That line still blows my mind. He admitted point blank that my opinion never mattered. He saw me as a roadblock, not a partner. So yeah, I dodged a bullet. He chained himself to the exact life I refused to accept, and now he's drowning in it. I got out clean, and I don't regret a thing. So I guess life's going pretty well? Edit. I see a bunch of people asking how all of this got resolved in 2 weeks. I wrote that first post for validation, as I thought I was going crazy. Either hoping for people to push me to do it or people telling me to take the chill pill. I had a lawyer and paperwork prepared so I could just pull it out immediately if necessary or put it away, pretending this stuff never happened. As I was not willing to live in this situation, I gave my ex the papers, and he pretty much agreed with no fuss. Paid with his own money, dipped a bit into his savings, and things moved fast.